Good morning, Gathering Network kids. I'm so glad to get to be with you this morning, but before we dive in, I have an announcement for any adults or parents that are in the room today. This may be new news to you, or it may just be a reminder to you, but if you guys go to gatheringnetwork.org and you click on our Sunday services and follow the Kids Zone link there, underneath each video that we post every week, there is a PDF link or a PDF button there, and when you open that PDF, you're gonna find the discussion questions, some activity ideas, it might be a game or a craft, and a Bible memory verse that all help reinforce the stories that we're telling here every week. So if you've been finding our videos through YouTube, that's awesome, but if you want some extra resources and help for the mornings that you're spending together, go to the gatheringnetwork.org link and the Sunday services, and you will find those resources with each video that we post, each Kids Zone there every single week. Now, if you have any questions or you want to give any feedback, I welcome that, and you can find my contact information on the website as well. And just a note that everything we post there, we're just trying to do our best to make it as helpful as we can and as scalable as we can, meaning that it will be things that can apply to younger kids or older kids, whether you have a few kids or a bigger group of kids. Hopefully those things you will find there will be flexible and usable to you, but let me know how we can continue to support you in this space. Now this morning, kiddos, we are diving in to continue to talk about the parables that Jesus told about lost and hidden treasures. In Luke 15, Jesus talks about and tells three different stories about three different lost things: a lost sheep, a lost coin, and a lost son. Now today we're going to talk about the lost sheep in Luke 15, verses 1 through 7. It says this: the tax collectors and other notorious sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the Pharisees and the teachers of religious law, those are other leaders, complain that he was associating with such sinful people. He was even eating with them. So Jesus told them this story: if a man has 100 sheep and one gets lost, what will he do? Won't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go search for the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he will joyfully carry it home on his shoulders. When he arrives, he will call together his friends and his neighbors, saying, "Rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep." In the same way, there is more joy in heaven over one lost sinner who repents and returns to God than over 99 others who are righteous and haven't strayed away. Now, as we get into this morning, we have to know how important the relationship is between a shepherd and his sheep. And the shepherd is there to take care of all of his sheep, and he knows exactly how many sheep he's responsible for. A good shepherd makes sure to feed the sheep enough food, make sure they have enough water during the day when they're out in the fields. They protect them from any predators, snakes, or dangerous situations. And at night, the shepherds make sure the sheep have a safe place to sleep. And in Jesus' time, the shepherds probably would have stayed with the sheep and slept with the sheep to make sure to continue to keep them safe. Now, the shepherds knew all of their sheep together, and they knew how to take care of all of them, but they also knew each sheep separately. So they knew when a sheep, one of them didn't feel good or maybe was injured or needed some extra care. These shepherds paid close attention to each and every one of those sheep in their flock. Now, Jesus told this story because there were some what were thought of as leaders and important people, religious leaders, people who were seen as very important and in charge. They were mad that Jesus was spending time with people they didn't think were worthy of Jesus's time or their time. But to Jesus, the people most important were the people who were thought of as least important. Sometimes it was those who were not well liked, or maybe they didn't behave like good people. Maybe they would have been sick, or they were homeless, or they were poor, they were orphans or widows. They didn't look like or act like Jesus or the religious leaders, but it was Jesus's joy to stay with them and be with them and teach them. Jesus saw them, and he wanted them to know how much God cared about them and how much they were a part of God's family, just as much as all these other people that might have seemed important. Now, there's two things that we can learn from this story today from Jesus. The first is Jesus shows us that God has so much care for those who feel lost and alone. He knows when we feel like the sheep who wanders off, who feels alone or sad or scared or hurt or left out. And the amazing thing is, you guys, that God cares so much that even if there's only one that has wandered off or is lost, God would go searching for that one. And in this parable, the shepherd knows that the 99 sheep that were together were safer together while he went to search for the one who wouldn't have been as safe by himself. That's how big God's love is for everyone that he has created. And the most beautiful part of this story is when the shepherd brings the sheep home, he goes and tells his friends and neighbors, "Be happy with me. I found this sheep." And that's the same as the heart of God today for us. He wants us to know that he is there and we are not alone. Now, secondly, Jesus shows us in this story, by the way he lives his life, how important it is to have eyes for others who might not seem as important or popular. Have you ever been the one who's been left out or felt lost, alone, or confused or hurt by other people? Maybe someone saw you in your sadness and they came to be your friend. Has that ever happened to you? I know it's happened to me. Maybe that person invited you along and wanted to include you and help you feel loved and known and seen. And Jesus shows us in this story today how important it is to use our eyes to pay attention to the people around us and to look for the ones that are lost and lonely and left out and left behind. When we are able to look for those who feel lost and alone and come alongside them as a friend, others can know the love of God and feel the love of God through our love for them. So today, as we close out this story, let's take some time to talk about what it's like to be seen and known and included when we need to be seen and known and included the most, especially when we're sad or lost or lonely, and take some time to talk about what it looks like to begin to be the kind of person that has eyes to see other people who need to be included and feel love too. How can we practice looking for people who might need a kind word or need to know that they're seen today? I love you guys. I'm so glad to be with you this morning, and I'm praying for your time together.